This is Floating in Dreams, and this is going to be my drugstore favorites, part 1. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of my top 20 favorite drugstore products in the sort of face and cheek category. So anything that doesn't go onto the eyes and lips, but that are like foundations and cheeks and primers and all that stuff is going to be featured in this video today. And then later this week, because we are doing drugstore week this week, I am going to be sharing with you my top 20 favorite lip and eye products from the drugstore. So that's what I have in store for you this week. I'm going to be doing some other videos as well as part of drugstore week, so I hope you like to stay tuned. So all of the products that you will be seeing featured in this video are products I have already reviewed, so I will be making sure to post links to my reviews in the description box down below. So if you want to see swatches or what these things look like on the face, that you have everything in one spot. I've also featured these in videos very often already, so very often you can already find other content with it, so I'll make sure to have all the links in the description box down below. And all of the products, I think as far as I know, these are all still available, so I will also have some shopping links that you can use to find these products really easily. And if you do use those links, I could make a small commission. So in terms of like primer and also like setting spray, I don't have that many favorites to begin with because I tend to be pretty loyal to those products and just use them up as I'm going through it. Over time though, I have found a really solid favorite setting spray. This is the only one I have left. It's actually one of the purchases I want to make for Black Friday is a Colourpop order, because this is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh setting spray. And this is just my favorite. I bought like a couple, I think not last year, maybe it was last year or the year before, I bought 2 of these in backup. It's the only setting spray I have in my makeup collection. So it's pretty much the only setting spray I use, and ever since I found this, I just think it is the best one I have ever tried. I've got pretty dry skin, so most setting sprays actually make my makeup look really dry and cakey on the face. This doesn't. It still hydrates my face, but it does add longevity to when my makeup wears throughout the day. So that's why I really enjoy the Colourpop Pretty Fresh. It's the only setting spray I use. And primer-wise, as I mentioned, it's also one of those products where I just have like a couple on rotation. I don't keep a lot of them in backup. And Essence and Catrice always come out with loads of new things. And Essence and Catrice have both been killing it with their primer releases in the past year. I really enjoyed the Essence Hydro Grip, Jelly Grip, whatever it was called. Their dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip, and Catrice came out with one as well. This is the Aqua Splash Grip Primer. These hydrating primers is something that Catrice can really do. They just don't really stay around for over a long time. So because they, both Essence and Catrice, change their lineup every 6 months, it can be difficult to find these still in stock. So I just buy them as they are being released, and whatever is like the latest rendition is the thing I have in my makeup collection. This is the one that's currently going in my Shop My Stash when my current primer is running out, because it's very, very much done. So this is going to be put into daily rotation. But I did already test it out and I did really like it. I think it's really similar to the Milk Makeup, and you definitely don't have to spend that much money to get the same thing. You could go Essence or Catrice. So for foundation and skin tints, I have a couple of options here. I think one of them is best from like a shade match perspective, so I'll leave that one till the end. Not available in tons of different shades, but still a really lovely product, is the skin tint from Essence. I think this is lovely. I also really still enjoy my NYX Born This Way foundation, but that was discontinued, so you can no longer find it. But that is one of my favorite drugstore products as well. But the Essence skin tint is just really, really lovely. I have mine in the lightest shade though, and it's a pretty good match. I have just found that I'm so used to getting darker matches than what I actually need for my face that, especially with drugstore makeup, that can sometimes be a challenge to then like figure out what it is that you need. But this is lovely. It's a more hydrating foundation, and I think it is a really lovely product. The Kiko Insta Moisture Glow Foundation I really enjoy. I really enjoyed the original Insta Moisture. That was one of my favorite drugstore foundations. But now they came out with it in a dewy version. I think I got this one about a year ago, and I've been loving it. I decluttered the original Insta Moisture earlier in the year to keep this one around because I really like it. This is in 1R, which I think is one of their lightest shades, and it's the only one that pulls a little bit more cool tone in the range. So again, shade range wise, pretty yellow, not that deep, but for me it works really well and it's great for dry skin. The one that I think has the best shade range though is the tinted serum from Catrice. This is the Nude Drop Tinted Serum. I have mine in 004N, and it's pretty much a perfect shade range, shade match for me, I should say. This is a tinted serum though, so it is very thin. It's not going to give you a lot of coverage. It's just not what I like. I don't really like a high coverage foundation. I'd much rather like go in with a light layer and then just add a little bit of concealer in the areas where I need it most. I just want my skin to look as natural as possible throughout the day. So I don't really like medium to full coverage foundations. That's why I think the Kiko one is like the most coverage that I feel I can get away with quite easily. So yeah, those would be my top 3 picks for foundation at the drugstore. I also have a top 3 pick for concealer at the drugstore, and here we see a couple of more traditional drugstore brands coming in. Maybelline and L'Oreal. Maybelline and L'Oreal I do really enjoy, but I say this a lot in my videos. I'm in the Netherlands, I live in a makeup desert, and especially these two brands are really popular in the US, but a lot of the popular releases either don't come this way, and if they come this way, we don't get the full range of colors that the brands promote online. So very often, for instance, this also happened with those Maybelline Vinyl Ink lipsticks. It took more than a year for it to be released here in Europe, and then when we got it, we only got like 8 shades, and then they first like put out those first 8 shades until we got the rest. So it always takes a long time for things to come our way, and they are expensive. I picked up my L'Oreal concealer. This is the True Match Radiant Serum Concealer in shade 1R. This I picked up in Germany for that reason. In the Netherlands, this is even a little bit more expensive. I think I paid like 10 euros for it in Germany, which is a pretty good deal. Over here, this concealer is easily going to be 15 or 16 euros without discounts, which is why whenever I do buy Maybelline and L'Oreal over here in my country, I tend to stick to their mascaras mostly because that's what I love from these brands the most. And only when I can get it like a buy one, get one free deal. This concealer was lovely though. Another concealer I tried this year is the YSL All Hours. This is the drugstore version of it. I had a very similar experience using this product as I did with the YSL one. And in case you are unfamiliar, L'Oreal, the mother company L'Oreal, owns YSL. So it has been sort of like, well, most people already know this, but L'Oreal as a brand at the drugstore has a lot of products in the range that you can also find at YSL. It's first released in the YSL line at the higher price point, but then eventually L'Oreal, the brand itself, would come out with a very similar product. And I feel that's the case with this concealer. So if you want a high-end concealer for a drugstore price point, L'Oreal is still the way to go. But I also really enjoyed this, and I was very surprised because I haven't heard anybody talking about it. It's the Maybelline Superstay Activewear Concealer in shade 5. And here is what it looks like. This is something I just picked up on a whim. I just saw it in store. I was like, how do I not know about this product? Did I sleep under a rock? I don't. I keep pretty good track of all the new releases that we get. And this is just one that slipped through the cracks. And I was like, that can't happen because I tend to like Maybelline as a brand. And this shade was really lovely. Again, a very long wearing concealer that didn't crease on me. And Maybelline over here is a touch cheaper than L'Oreal, so this is a bit of a better price point. But I think there was like a buy one, get one free deal on when I bought this one as well. Really lovely concealer. And one that you know I love, because I keep raving about this, is the Kiko Milano Skin Tone Concealer in shade 2. It's either this one or my K-Beauty one from the same. They are roughly the same size that I take with me for travel. This is really, really small. It only has 3.5 milliliters of product, which is not that much. The L'Oreal has, can I find that somewhere in the packaging? Does it say? L'Oreal has 11 milliliters and the Maybelline has 10 milliliters. So those 2 are 3 times more product than what you get in here, but I love this thing to pieces. I have used one up already in the past, and as you can see, this one is going down quite a bit as well. So this was a repurchase for me because I love it so much, and because it is small, narrow, and dinky, it fits into any makeup bag. So especially if you're someone who travels a lot, this little Kiko concealer is really good. And one shade down is actually a green corrector shade, which is also a nice one. So if you're looking for a good green corrector, then check out the Kiko Milano Skin Tone Concealer range, because that green corrector is actually pretty good. For powders, I do have several that I like, especially at the drugstore, but I believe most of them have been discontinued, but I picked up a new one of these guys. Later this week, I will be filming a full face makeup look with Kiko Milano because I just love them so much. There wasn't a lot of new stuff that I was really curious after, but I was actually placing the order to repurchase the Radiant Fusion powder in shade 1, which looks like this. This is a dupe for the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder in Diffuse Light. I've compared them before on the channel. There is a short somewhere where you can see, and I just wanted to have another one of these. This lasts me 2 years though. If I use this every single day, I can get about a year and a half to 2 years worth of use out of one compact, which is why I didn't repurchase it straight away, because I was like trying to test out some other products that I had purchased. But I was like, if I'm doing drugstore week and I'm gonna be talking about some of my favorite drugstore products, I do want to have this in my possession again, and if I want to film that full face makeup look, it is nice if I can have the powder in there. So that's why the powder from Kiko is now back in my life, and I'm really happy. I will only, like, I don't need to swatch this because I've reviewed it so many times and it's been in so many Shop My Stashes. I used one up completely last year and I was missing it in my collection, so I had to make that purchase again. Next up are bronzers, and I have several products in this bronzer category, both creams and powders, because I do like a variety of things, but I tend to be a bit of a lazy bronzer person, so my preference still goes out to a powder bronzer. This is the Kiko Milano Flawless Fusion Bronzer in shade 1. You've heard me raving about this so many times. I reach for this especially in the winter time, because I'm wearing the Fenty Beauty today, which I still really enjoy, but I am also realizing that I'm getting to the point where this bronzer is going to be too dark for me very, very soon. So I was like, I want to try and hit pan on that bronzer, which is why I put it in my Shop My Stash. But this is one probably December, January time. I'm going to go back to this one because it is light enough for me to work when I'm at my palest, and so few bronzers work for me when I get super duper pale in the winter time. And the cream bronzer I decided to put in here is the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer in the shade Light. Really, really pretty. And this is a great dupe, or alternative I should say, for the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Enhancer product. I love that one to pieces, it's really nice. But if you're looking for a similar texture and a similar finish, then try this one. It is a fraction of the price of the Makeup by Mario, and I'm not a huge fan of Makeup Revolution. I don't have that many products by the brand in my makeup collection anymore, because all of the things I tried were always a bit just, you know, where it's like, yeah, you could be great, but it wasn't that great. That's how I very often feel about Makeup Revolution, but this is one of the very few products that has been sticking around for some time in my collection now because I love it so much. But of course, I also had to mention these things. These are sort of honorable mentions because I was like, I already picked 2. I don't want to pick too many. But Kiko also does a really good contour stick that I use as bronzer. And this is just as good as the Rare Beauty one, which is my other favorite bronzing stick. So in case you were wondering what works for me in terms of bronzer, then this is really nice. This is in shade 200 and it's the Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour. That's the full name. And the other honorable mention is brand new from Essence. This came out in August for their fall winter collection. And this is the Drop of Sunshine Bronzing Drops. And you can see what they were trying to do here. They were duping the Drunk Elephant. And this is really nice, actually, as far as a liquid bronzer goes. I think it's one of the best ones I have in my collection currently. I don't use it as a mix-in, though. It's far too dark for that to work, and I look like an Oompa Loompa, and it's not a good look. but it does definitely work if I apply it like I would bronzer, and then, especially if I use it first and then put my foundation on top. This looks amazing, but it is more of a summertime product for me rather than a wintertime product. I don't tend to veer towards these kind of products if it's not nice weather. And I just decided to put all 3 of these in this video because I like this range from Essence a lot. This is the Baby Gut Bronze Blush and Highlight, Baby Gut Glow, in these little tubes. So they are essentially dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light ones. And some of the shades in these are better for me than the Charlotte Tilbury stuff, which is crazy because this guy, which is the bronzing one, this is Sweet Shadow, that's the shade name. And can you see how gray this looks? This is the first time I've ever tried a product where I'm like, yeah, I think I should only use it as a contour because this is so cool toned and gray leaning that it almost looks weird to be used as a bronzer. However, because I have more cool toned leaning skin, I'm more like neutral in the middle, but I just feel that very often cool tones are more flattering on me than warm tones are. I'm wearing my best red today. This is my favorite red sweater. It's a very blue toned red, and I just love it. But this, it's very strange because when it comes out and you first squeeze it out, it looks super gray. But when I blend it out, it's definitely not as cool toned as when it's like fully concentrated. So I can definitely get away with it. It's just another one of those products where I'm like, I'm not used to seeing a product like that on my skin, which is why it kind of throws me off. Like, is this right for me? Yes or no? I can't decide. But if you were looking for something super cool tone, then know that Essence does something really nice. And I also like the blush in Dusty Rose and the highlighter in Sassy and Silk. These are really nice. These are warmer tone though. They do a really nice like baby pink, like a very nice blue tone pink in this line as well, but I have plenty of blue tone pink blush. This kind of vibe, this like peachy, mauvey sort of goodness, we all know that that is like my favorite thing to wear in terms of blush. So that was blush, bronzer, and highlighter all in one go, but I also have 2 powder highlighters that I really enjoy. We all know this little Kiko Glow Fusion highlighter has been my favorite for years. If I sound like a broken record, if you see this silver packaging from Kiko and you think, Micah, what are you banging on about? These have been my favorite Kiko products for absolutely, I think, the past 5 years or so. So yeah, this has a dent. I've hit pan. It's like a pin prick. I'm not sure if you can see it in this lighting, but yeah, there is a teensy tiny pinprick of a pan in here. I know if I start using this more, that pan is going to expand instantly. I love it. It's a little bit more of a subtle highlight. It's not as glowy as and in your face, but it is a really lovely product. And then I think this came out in the springtime from Catrice. This is their Space Glam Holo Highlighter. This is not a holographic highlighter, but it is a multi-chrome. And this was like under €5 at the drugstore, and it definitely has more of like a pink lavender gold flip at first, but in some lighting this even has a hint of green in. So depending on how the light hits your face, this is going to look super dimensional. This is also really, really pretty as eyeshadow. So if you're like multi-chrome highlighters on my face, not gonna work, but it works really well as inner corner highlight as well, so it can jazz up any eye look that you decide to put on. It is small. It only comes with 4.6 grams of products, but for Catrice to do something like this, and you know, I also have the Kaleidos multi-chrome highlighters. If I want to go multi-chrome highlighter, I reach for this over the Kaleidos ones. Not because I don't like the Kaleidos ones, but those are so intense and shifty that it's almost unwearable. And with this, I've worn this to work many times, and no one is going to look at you and go like, what's that on your face? No one is going to feel that way, because once blended on the face, it just looks really pretty because it doesn't have very heavy pigmentation to it. The Kaleidos ones have a very heavy base, so you can really sort of like see the line of where you've applied it. And what I love about this Catrice one is that it has a very sheer base, so it actually looks like it's like lit from within, but it flashes different colors. It's really unique. I think it's one of the best products that Catrice has done in recent years. And then I just have some more blushes for you because we all love a good blush. I've been raving about the Kiko blushes in the same packaging for years. My favorite has always been this one. This is the Shade Fusion, but this was discontinued and now they just do these solid colored ones. And I still have mine from my declutter because part of me knows I have to get rid of this because this is exactly that warmer mauve tone that I love to wear, but I have it a million times over in my collection. So I don't need another one. And actually I feel that the other shade is a little bit more cool toned. There is a cool tone mauve in this lineup as well. I just got the wrong one when I ordered it. So part of me is like, should I get the cooler tone one? Should I just keep this one because it is really beautiful on the skin? So I decluttered it. It's no longer like sitting in my makeup drawer, but I'm also not really reaching for it anyway. So I'm not sure what to do with this, but this way I still had it around to show it to you in a video to show you the more updated formula. The formula is exactly the same. It's now just called the Unlimited Blush. They're just as good as the old ones. Some more powder blush. I think a drugstore brand that does blush especially well, Essence. Good old Essence. They come out with this kind of blush in this clear packaging all the time. Like whenever they do a new rendition of a blush, it's always in this clear packaging. They've been doing them for years. And I think I've tried every single rendition. I feel the formulas don't change all that much. We just get different shades that are ever so slightly different and a little bit more on trend. And the packaging is very often different. Like the shade names will be different and the writing on it will be different. But very often if you see these clear packaged Essence blushes, they tend to be some of the best things that Essence does. Yes, the packaging is cheap and very prone to breakage. That's the only thing you need to bear in mind. But these are less than €3 at the drugstore. So what are we complaining about? And then they of course did this shade, which is Lovely Lilac. And I'm not sure if you can see here, but you can see that yellow ring. Something that they updated for this line when it was launched is that these pans are now removable. So it has little divots in the back so you can push the pan out and you could like replace it if you'd like. And this one was really pretty. It isn't lilac. It's more like a soft blue tone pink, but it's stunning. And the other one I have is Cool Berry. And this looks a lot warmer toned in the pan than it actually is on your cheeks. It is a Cool Berry shade once it goes on. So don't be fooled by these. They are really lovely. They are the Essence quality I know I love. They just changed the packaging and came out with some other shades. And especially the lilac one has my heart. And finally in this video, I need to chat with you about the MUA blushed liquid blushes. We all know I love these. This is Rouge Noir. This is the last one I tested out. I have 4 of these and I love them. They are a dupe for the Glossier Cloud Paints. These retail for pennies at the UK drugstore. You can find them online. Notino sells them and I really love them. They are amazing. A little goes a long way. They have a really nice formula. And even though they're a liquid blush, on my dry skin, they stay all day and I really, really enjoy using these. So this is another really solid product from the drugstore. Thank you so very much for joining me. That was all the products I wanted to share with you in this video today. All of my face and cheek products, and I will be back really, really soon with an overview of all of my favorite eye and lip products. Other things I have in store for you this week are a full face makeup look with Kiko Milano, and I thought it would be fun to put some dupes on my face and like really like compare and contrast, because I haven't done a video like that in like 2 years. So I feel I should bring back that old format because I always enjoy filming those. So if you want to see some makeup going onto my face, and if you want to see any of those going on in either one of those videos, then leave that in a comment down below. For now, just let me know what your favorite drugstore products are. I would love to know. Thumbs up this video if you liked it and subscribe. I will be back with a new video very, very soon. Bye-bye.